Dinoyane is a painting that I created during the pandemic in 2020. What's happening in the video is that there were these ladies that were dancing at my cousin's grandfather's tombstone unveiling. Yes. So these ladies were dancing. Also called Dinonyani. I took a video of them, and then from that video I took a still shot of them dancing from the video. So that is the source of the painting that you see. That is the reference photo of the painting that you see me painting on this video. Yeah, so we call them Dinonyani because, you know, as they're dancing, they're wearing these gloves and their hands are open wide. As they're dancing like they are birds, basically. That's why they're wearing these gloves on their hands. So therefore we call them the Dinonyan. I painted this video in 2020, like I said, during the pandemic. I painted it at a studio called Pixel Art Studio in Mamelodi. So that's when I decided that, you know what, I'm going to start taking videos of myself painting. So I highlighted my friend who's a photographer and we set it up, and I decided to take a video of me painting these ladies. I wanted to start telling a story about who I am and my culture, giving people perspective of me as a girl who is Mupedi but is from Mamelodi. So I saw them as the perfect subject matter for the painting, and also I wanted to bring a different take to the patterns that I create when I'm painting these sacred geometry patterns. So I merged these ladies with these sacred geometry patterns. As a girl who is Sepedi, I don't actually know how to speak the language as fluently as people who live in Limpopo. So yes, Sepedi, but where exactly am I from? I speak language Yako Mamelodi. So whenever I go home or whenever there is a family event, you can hear her, this person, the way she speaks, she's not from here. And it's always like a conflicting thing where you are with your people but you feel like you don't belong. And I think a lot of us who grew up in Gauteng and, you know, live in the hoods in Gauteng and have our homes back in the rurals, when we get back to the rurals, we have this identity crisis because we feel like, you know, we are from there, but we're not from there. And the people are always pointing it out for, oh, the way you speak, language. Yeah, you know, or asiamo. So yeah, I wanted to bring that take into the painting and just touch on that as the reason why I'm painting this, so that I can speak about such things and how it feels to be from the hood and also be a rural girl. Because even in the hood, you don't belong. They're like, oh, you're always going back to the rurals. So you're like in between. There's this yin yang about you. You don't know where you belong most of the time. Yeah. So I've seen it a lot with my cousins who grow up in Gauteng, and I think a lot of us have this experience where what's happening now is that if you grow up in the city, you're going to be mostly speaking English. You're not in touch with your language, and then when you go to these family events and you have gatherings with your family, whether it's at a funeral, at a wedding or whatever, you find it hard to communicate with your own family members, and you feel like you don't belong. And now what's happening in South Africa is that I see it with the young kids as well. We're losing touch of our language because we're being sent to these Model C schools in order to get a better education, and we're being taught in English, and now you cannot communicate in your own language to your elders. So your elders can't speak to you because you're speaking English. And also the parents who send these kids to these schools, they're only doing it because they want something, a better education for their kids. But some of them, they're like, no, my kid must know English. And now, okay, how are they going to communicate with their grandparents and their other family members and their elders? So I see this conflict. I've seen it with my cousins, my little cousins, where they have to learn the language later on. As they're getting older, and they get confused by little things, like, imagine being 13 but being confused by little words when you are communicating with your family members, because you think now you have to learn your own mother tongue at a later stage. So it's a bit of a conflicting issue. Yeah, so I hope that we strike a balance. I grew up not knowing English. I didn't go to a Model C school, but as you can hear, I'm fluent right now in English. So I don't think that you're doing your child a disservice if you teach them their mother tongue at a young age. They will learn English and they'll be fluent in it when they get older. Trust you me, they will not be left out in the world. So yeah, that's just something that has been at the back of my mind, and you have an identity crisis. So I hope I get to tell the story through this painting.